I've used Excel extensively for years, both in university and while working in the US and Europe. During this time, I've learned hundreds of Excel formulas, but there's really just a few that you need for most tasks. So in this video, I'm gonna go over 5 Excel formulas I think everyone should know, and they're not the ones that you might think. First up, we have the convert function, which surprisingly few people know about. So over here is the file that we're looking at, which you can download for free in the video description. And you can see here that we want to find out the number of days. So we would simply take equals the delivery date minus whenever we ordered it. That's going to give us the number of days it took to get there. So this is the number for us. That said, because it's in decimals, because there's a time difference, maybe it makes more sense to do it in hours. That's where the convert function comes in. We would do equals convert, hit the tab key there, and the number is, well, we want to convert the days, comma, and at the moment we'll put in quotation that they're in day format, comma, and we want to convert that to hour format. So it's gonna be this one right over here. Hit the tab key, close a parenthesis, and hit enter. And now we've just converted from days to hours. That's just a simple example, so let's take a look at a slightly harder one. In this case, we want to go from pounds to kilos, so we can use that same convert function, hit the tab key there, and so this is the number, comma, and at the moment in quotations, we'll put that it's in lbm, close those quotations, comma, and now we want it to convert to kilos, so we'll put kg in quotations there, close a parenthesis and hit enter, and there you have it. As you can imagine, this formula also works for converting miles, for degrees Celsius versus Fahrenheit, and much more. Next up, we have the filter function, which allows us to filter by specific criteria. Let's suppose in this list over here, we want to find out the employees that are in the finance department. So for that, we would just go to equals and type the filter function, hit the tab key there, and the array is simply the area that we're interested in. So we want to select this whole area over here, comma, and what do we want to include? Well, we want to include the departments, so we'll select all of these that are equal to, in quotations there, we'll put finance. So those are the ones that we want to filter in. We'll close a parenthesis and hit enter. Just like that, we filtered by all of the employees in finance. This filter example is quite easy because it only has one criteria. So let's take a look at one with multiple criteria down over here. You can see that this time we don't just want those that are in the finance department, but let's suppose that we also want those that have a salary above 80,000. So we would use that same filter, hit the tab key there, and the array is the whole area again. So we'll just select that, comma. And what do we want to include? Well, now we want two criteria, so we need to put it in parentheses. And the first criteria is going to be that this department here equal to finance, which is the same thing that we did earlier. So we'll put finance there in quotations, comma, and then we just want to add the parenthesis to close it and an asterisk. This is going to say that we want a second criteria. Then we'll open up the parenthesis again. And for this second one, it's the salary. So it's this whole range over here that we want. And then we're gonna make that greater than 80,000. So because it's a number, we don't have to put quotations around it. We'll close a parenthesis, close it again, this time for the entire formula, and just hit enter there. Now you can see all of those employees that have a salary above 80,000 in finance. And this formula is dynamic, so if I delete Terry's salary here, you'll notice that he gets out of this filter. And speaking of formulas, a great way to visualize the results is with templates like the one HubSpot, the sponsor of this video, is kindly providing us. Using the link in the description, you can get multiple Excel graph templates completely for free. In the download, you'll find an Excel file with the instructions on how to use the template, alongside all the chart types you might need to visualize your data. From here, you can easily modify the data and the charts will automatically change. These templates can either have one column of data or multiple depending on your needs. I personally find the template most useful for determining which chart type showcases my data best, as I can see all of them at once. So if you want to check these out, check out the link in the description below to download these completely free templates from HubSpot to level up your Excel game. Alright, back to formulas. At the very end, we'll have a bonus formula that 99% of Excel users actually don't know. But first, let's take a look at the sequence formula, which is very much undervalued because many people don't know how to use it well. So suppose you want a list with all of the employee names just in number format here. You would just go to equals, sequence, hit the tab key. And so the rows, let's say we go for 10 and just hit enter, but it's actually a few more than that. Now, if you wanted to match it exactly to the number of values, you could simply go inside of the formula, delete this area and just put a count A inside of it. This way we would select this whole range with Control-Shift down, close the parenthesis, close it again, this time for the sequence, and hit enter. And now you see that it's fully dynamic and it reaches all the way to the final employee. If you're not impressed yet, let me show you one more example that's slightly harder. Over here, you can see that we have the December days, and let's suppose we want to add every single day in December. Now, you might think of doing the date function, so equals date. It would be 2023, comma, month of December, comma. And now for the day, you can actually only put one day here. I could put the first, and it only gives me data for the first, which isn't exactly what we want. Instead, up here, we're going to add the sequence formula at the end and put in 31 days as it's the month of December. Close the parenthesis and just hit enter. And just like that, we have 31 days for December in date format. So hopefully you can see there that the sequence formula is actually quite useful. Now, speaking of useful formulas, probably the most powerful formula in Excel is the Xlookup. So let's take a look at how that works. First up here with a simple example, we can try to find the employee, so Bill Smith, and his revenue. Now you might think of using the VLOOKUP, which is its predecessor, but the Xlookup is actually more powerful and easier to use. So we'll put Xlookup, the lookup value is Bill Smith, comma, and we want to find the Bill Smith within the range of employees here, so Control-Shift down, comma, and the return array, well, we want to get the revenue, that's what we're interested in, so Control-Shift down there, close the parenthesis and hit enter. So we can see that for Bill Smith, the revenue is 8,000, so that's all looking good. Now suppose that we change the employee up here from Bill Smith to something like Mike, but you'll notice that the Excel formula is now broken. The reason for this, you might think that you did something wrong there, but it's actually that Mike is simply not in the list of employees. So to avoid this type of confusion, what you can do is go to the end of the formula here, add a comma, and that activates the if not found area. And here in quotations, we might want to put not in list. Close the quotations and hit enter. Now we'll know exactly what's going on. Let's now see a more impressive use of the Xlookup. Over here, let's suppose that we want to assign commissions based on how much revenue they made. So if they made over 8,000, it would be 20%. If they made between 4 and 8,000, it should default to 10% and so forth. So the next smaller basically. So for the commission here as the percentage, we just want to go to equals Xlookup, hit the tab key there, and the lookup value is, well, we're trying to assess the revenue for each of these people. So we'll just select one, comma. For the lookup array, it's going to be all these revenue figures that we have to the side, and we want to lock them so they don't move down when we move down the formula. So for that, we want to press the F4 key, which is gonna add these dollar signs to it, comma, and the return array is what we want as the result. We want it to return the commission percentage. So we'll select this area and hit the F4 key there to lock that as well so it doesn't move around, comma. If not found, let's skip this part by hitting the comma again. And now we have the match mode where there's a few alternatives. Now we want it to be an exact match or the next smaller item. Let me explain that in a bit once we have it done. So we'll put the -1 there, close up parenthesis and hit enter. Now let me drag this down, and we chose the exact match or next smallest because as you can see here for 7,000 it fits right in between. Now because it's the next smallest by default, it defaults to that 10%, which is what we want. We only want to pay 20% when it's over 8,000. As the final formula before the bonus, we have the Sumifs, and it's fairly self-explanatory. It sums if certain conditions are true. So let's take a look over here. Let's suppose that we want to get the sum of revenue for Bill Smith when he's in London. So you can see that Bill Smith is repeated multiple times, hence why it makes sense to use the sum instead of something like an Xlookup. So we would do equals Sumifs, hit the tab key there, and the sum range, we want to sum his revenue. So this whole area here, comma, and the criteria range is, well, this is our first criteria, but we first need to find its range, which we can find in here, comma, and so first criteria is that equals to Bill, comma, and the second criteria range is that it be in the office of London, so within these ranges here, comma, and the exact criteria is that it's London at the moment. Close the parenthesis and hit enter. It's that simple to use the Sumifs formula. So let's now take a look at a slightly harder example. So over here, we can see that we now want the product called Fanta in this column here. What makes this tricky is that Fanta isn't just Fanta on its own. Sometimes it's called a canned Fanta grape, other times it's a Fanta lemon, and so forth, which makes it kind of hard to filter just for that word. So we'll need to tweak a few things in the Sumifs. But we can get started just like before with Sumifs. The sum range is still the revenue, comma, and the criteria range is still all of these products, so that's all fine. Control Shift down, comma, and now for the criteria number 1, we don't just want Fanta, but we want stuff that's before Fanta and after Fanta filtered out. We can do that by putting it in quotations. We'll put an asterisk and just type Fanta in there, another asterisk and quotations to close it. This is simply saying if there's anything before or after, we can just ignore that as it's still a match for us, comma. The criteria range number 2 is just like before, so all these offices in the office of London. Close the parenthesis and hit enter. Now you can see that it's still detecting Fanta despite not just saying the word Fanta, but also having words before and after. Finally, let's go over the bonus formula, which probably most of you don't know. Over here, let's suppose we want to find out the time to delivery, which would simply be equals to the delivery date minus the order date. That said, this is also accounting for weekends, which let's suppose that we don't actually work during. So we need to change this formula. Instead of just having a simple subtraction, we can use the equals net work days, and this formula returns the number of working days only. So we'll hit the tab key there, and the start date for us is gonna be the order date, comma, and the end date is the delivery date. We'll close a parenthesis and hit enter. And so now we have the days filtered without including weekends. Let me know in the comments if you were familiar with this formula. And just like that, in this short video, we've managed to learn 5 awesome Excel formulas that you'll hopefully use again and again. Now, to learn advanced Excel formulas, check out this video over here or take our Excel course over here. Hit the like and that subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.